Greetings, I am Janet Falzon, health psychologist, mindfulness, meditation, and self-compassion teacher. I welcome you to this talk about dealing with COVID-19 anxiety, which I will end with a simple and brief mindfulness guided exercise. We are living in anxious times. We are inundated with news about this highly contagious virus, and we are forced to practice social isolation. We are all on edge. But still, there is a lot that we can do to reclaim peace and calm. To begin with, it's very important to understand what anxiety is. Anxiety is a natural human emotion. It is there to keep us safe. It's part of our survival mechanism. We get anxious when there is danger, and this alerts us to the importance of acting responsibly and thinking wisely. Anxiety becomes problematic when it escalates and interferes with our daily life. So how can we stop anxiety from escalating? Let's begin by taking a look at what creates the emotion of anxiety. There are multiple factors which cause our anxiety, and these include a genetic predisposition, our past experiences, the effect of substances, which include caffeine, our thoughts, and our current experiences. For the sake of brevity here, I will focus on thoughts and our current experience. Worried thoughts can trigger a cascade of reactions in our brain and in our body. The body gets into survival mode and we experience hyperarousal, including an increase in blood pressure, in heart rate, a surge of sugar in our muscles to prepare us to get ready to flee from a dangerous situation. And if the danger persists, the hyperarousal becomes chronic, and this leads to sleep disorders, it leads to chronic pain, it leads to tightness in our muscles, it leads to chronic anxiety, and it can easily lead to panic. So our job here is to take responsibility of our thoughts as soon as they arise, so that we prevent them from transforming into anxiety. And we can do this in many things, and here are a few tips, a few ideas of how we can go about this. It's very important that we learn to become aware of our thoughts, to catch ourselves thinking in time to prevent them from spiraling out of control and getting transformed into anxiety. And I'll be giving tips on how we can increase our awareness and becoming more aware of our thoughts so that we can nip them in the bud before they escalate. It's also very important that we stop fueling our thoughts by public health messages, particularly those in the social media, which we know often lead to panic and fear, and do little to motivate us to act in proper and responsible ways. So limit your time on social media and keep yourself informed, because it is important for us to know what is happening, but use trustworthy sources like the COVID-19 website of the Public Health Department or the World Health Organization website or WebMD. Also very important is to stop ourselves from repeating our thinking, talking about reading about, watching things about the situation. The more we repeat our worries, the more we are strengthening our neural pathways of them. It's like cementing our worries on our brain, and the more layers of worry that we cement on our brain, the stronger our anxious neural pathways become, and the easier it is for us to be triggered to go down the rabbit hole. It is also very important for us to stop ourselves from catching the panic bug. Fear, panic, and anxiety are contagious. The scientific term for this is social contagion. It's like someone sneezes panic on your brain, and all of a sudden you are in a panic. So each time we come into contact with someone who is anxious, we are more likely to become anxious ourselves. It is also very important to understand that when we are in a panic, when we are seriously anxious, our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that helps us think logically and make responsible decisions, is hijacked. It goes offline. And when our prefrontal cortex is hijacked, our actions are taken over by the primitive brainstem, which is the part of the brain that is responsible for maintenance of the body and for survival. So we start acting on automatic pilot, on impulse. And this is the reason why people in these are the two reasons why people in supermarkets ended up buying, for example, toilet paper in bulk, because they were seeing people running around in a panic. They caught the panic bug, and because they were panicked, their prefrontal cortex was hijacked, and they just overstocked on toilet paper. And this is what is happening to us when we are unaware of what's happening in our bodies, in our brain, when we are caught in the whirlwind of our anxiety. So it is very important when we catch ourselves engaging in this kind of behavior to ground ourselves with simple mindfulness exercises, which I will be sharing one of later on, and also some tips on how you can do this on your own. And not only when we are already anxious, but regularly during the day, so that it becomes a habit and we start doing this on a regular basis, and when the need arises, it's easier for us to remember to engage in this kind of mindful behavior. It's also very important for us to keep ourselves busy doing things that we enjoy. Take up a new hobby, pray, meditate, exercise, play board games. These things help direct the focus of our attention from our worries to more positive, more enjoyable activities. However, to be honest, despite doing all of this, we are likely to still experience anxiety. So there are ways how we can change our perspective of our anxiety and how we can change the way we respond to it, which help us manage the situation in a healthier, more sensible way. And in view of this, it is very important to remember that anxiety is not our enemy. It is our friend, because it's helping us stay safe. It's part of our survival mechanism, remember? But I hear you saying, but I don't like the feeling of anxiety. I want it to go away. I want to run away from it. But we know that the more we try to suppress difficult emotions, the more we try to run away from them, the stronger they get. And I'll use a little analogy to make it easier for you to understand this point. So you have a room that is filling up with water. And you are trying to push the door closed to stop the water. And the water continues coming. It floods the room. Eventually, you are taken over. It pushes the door open and you drown. You have another option. And the other option is this. The moment you realize that water is filling the room, you open the door slightly. You let the water trickle out. In the meantime, you go in calmly. And you find a sensible way. You investigate the situation. And you calmly devise a plan of what it is that you need to do. So, in this analogy, the water is your anxiety, and the door is you stopping it. Okay? Holding the door, pushing the door closed is you stopping it. Opening the door gently is you opening to your experience of anxiety. Trying to find a way to befriend it, to understand that it is there to help you. So the recommendation here is to learn how to move towards your anxiety and approach it with openness, with care, and with kindness. And this is where mindfulness comes in handy. It helps us stay grounded and gives us the opportunity to stop our mind from wandering on what might happen tomorrow, what might happen next week or next month or next year, and gives us the opportunity to focus on what is here, present, right now with us. And this can include focusing on sensations in the soles of your feet. It can include focusing on sounds in the room for 30 seconds, or it can include listening to the song of birds, or savoring the beauty of a flower for 20 seconds, or even being with your anxiety without being afraid of it, without trying to push it away. But it is important that when we adopt this approach of being curious about something that is present, we are also kind, our attention is kind, and we allow our experience to be soft and non-judgmental. And I'll be showing you how in a few moments. So, for the time being, find a comfortable position. You can sit on a chair, on an armchair, on a cushion, or lie down on your bed or on a yoga mat. It doesn't really matter how you sit or lie down. The important thing is that you are comfortable. And please put your mobiles on silent and maybe tell people around you that you will be meditating, or perhaps invite them to join in. We will be starting in a few moments. Taking a moment to settle in your comfortable position, knowing that you can adjust your position anytime during the meditation practice. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, otherwise lowering your gaze towards the floor so that you limit your distractions. And welcoming yourself here as you sit or lie down in this position. Perhaps placing one or both hands on your heart, on your chest area, to remind you that you are bringing kind and warm awareness to yourself and to your experience. And taking a moment to notice what it's like to be sitting or lying down in this way. Becoming aware of your posture and maybe adjusting it into one that symbolizes wakefulness, and yet is balanced with a sense of relaxation. So the right balance between being wakeful and alert and being peaceful and calm. Taking a moment to notice sensations in the parts of your body that are making contact with the surface on which you are lying or sitting down. For example, your feet resting on the floor. Noticing sensations in your seat. And these could include temperature, comfort, discomfort, the way you are being held. Noticing also how your back is self-supported or how it's making contact with the back of the chair or armchair or bed on which you're sitting or lying. Now taking a moment to notice any tension in your body, perhaps you're clenching your teeth, or perhaps there's tension around the lips, or tension around the eyes. Seeing if you can invite some softness to your experience, to your facial expression, letting go of any tightness, any holding on. Noticing any tension, any tightness in the shoulders. Perhaps letting them fall down and back a little bit. Noticing if there's any tension in the palms of your hands and perhaps releasing tension in the fingers one by one. Now becoming aware of the fact that you are breathing, and without interfering with the rhythm of your breathing, just notice how the body moves with each breath. Perhaps you can notice movement in your shoulders, or the rise and fall of the chest. Of course, the mind will wander. When this happens, just thank your mind for all the hard work it does and bring your attention back to your breathing. So directing your attention once again on your chest, rising and falling with each breath. You may notice movement in your belly area. You may wish to place one or both hands there on your tummy so that you can feel the movement in your tummy as you breathe. Again, the mind will wander. Notice where it has gone, and when it happens, bring it back to your breathing. And staying with your breathing and moving body for a while. Not judging yourself, not judging the way you are meditating. Just being with yourself, being with your body breathing. Following the breath all the way in and all the way out. If you think it helps, you can say to yourself, breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Or simply in, out. In, out. You can also hear the sounds you're making as you breathe. The sound of air flowing through your nostrils and mouth. Let them be your anchor to your present moment. The sounds of your breathing. As you continue breathing in and breathing out. Now gently and slowly redirect the focus of your attention to what is happening inside of your body, any emotions that you are experiencing. Perhaps you're bored, you're anxious, you're frustrated. Notice that. And bring kindness to your awareness. Perhaps saying to yourself, anxiety is here. Frustration is here. And simply breathe into your emotion without trying to push it away, without trying to suppress it. Breathing into your anxiety. Perhaps thanking it for alerting you of danger and reassuring it that you're going to take the necessary action, and this is one of them. You're keeping yourself calm, or at least you have the intention to. And noticing what happens when you are with your emotion, when you're not trying to run away from it, when you are okay with your emotion, with your anxiety. And if you are not okay with being with your anxiety, it's okay to redirect the focus of your attention to something else, like to sounds in the room, or to sensations in the soles of your feet. Even to open your eyes, to disengage from the meditation. If you're still okay with being with your anxiety, just continue breathing into it and out of it. Once again, widening the focus of your attention so that it now includes the whole of your body. Sitting here with whatever it is that you are experiencing, whether it's calm, peace, anxiety, or frustration, just being with this whole body, sitting here or lying here, alive and breathing. And perhaps thanking your body for being with you in this situation. Thanking yourself for taking this proactive step to take care of your well-being. To take part in this meditation. Acknowledging your intention to be well. For taking time to listen to this talk, to engage with this practice. And when you're ready, gently and slowly open your eyes. This brings our talk and our meditation to an end. For more tips on dealing with COVID-19 anxiety, subscribe to my channel or like my Facebook page, Finding Peace in Chaos. In the meantime, I wish you and your loved ones health and peace. Namaste.